All right, here we go. This one's gonna be a 45 auto versus 10mm test. Today we're gonna be trying out some Liberty Overwatch. And that is a huge thank you to our good buddy, Mr. John G from Texas. This is another one that he sent in. So thank you. We really appreciate your help and all the support here on the channel. So for that 45, that one is 105 grain. Here's what that thing looks like. It does have a massive hollow point cavity. Has your black nickel plated brass. Is rated 1,600 feet per second. And for a 10mm, that one is a 70 grain. Has that same black nickel plated brass and is rated 2,150 feet per second. So we'll see how close we come today. So for a 45, we are going to be using our Glock 21. That one does have a 5.5-inch extended ported barrel in it. And without those ports, or right before those ports, it's right around that 5-inch mark. And for a 10mm, we are going to be using our Rock Island Ultra FS, and that one also has that full-size 5-inch barrel. So we going through our gel. Those are our 10% calibrated blocks. Do have our catch block behind that, so total 22 inches of gel. Our 4 layers of cotton t-shirt on the front, and like always, we'll set up our chronograph so you can hopefully pick up those impact velocities. So let's set up and see how these rounds do head-to-head. First one up will be that 45 auto. All right, we're still back to 15 feet. All right, let's see how we did on that one. All right, so it looks like our impact velocity on that one was 1664. So that is great to see. Rated was 1600. So whenever we get above advertised, that's always awesome to see. All right, and there's that hit. Looks like I got a perfect shot on that block. Check that out, man. That is a huge entry. You can see right down in there, and a pretty big star pattern so far. But man, it looks like that thing took a bunch of gel with it. So let's check it out from the top. Oh yeah, definitely not too bad. So it looks like as soon as that thing came in, started to open up, getting some really nice disruption. It actually does look like there is 2 paths going on. One of them did veer very right, and then it looks like it did make it out of that first block into the second, and then out of that second, and then it looks like we have the majority of the slug here in the first block, which is really cool. And you know, super glad we were actually able to catch that thing. These are supposed to kind of frag like the Liberty Civil Defense, but these ones are a little bit heavier, and they're supposed to get a little bit more penetration. And I'm kind of surprised that thing held together the way it did, but definitely pretty cool. So let's get a measurement here from the top. Like always, we'll cut these open here at the end so we can get a little bit more accurate cross-section measurement. But so far, we are right at 2.5 inches. So that's actually pretty good, especially for 45. And that thing was moving too. I definitely didn't expect it to, you know, reach advertised, much less exceed the advertised. So looks like as soon as that thing came in, started to open up really nice. Getting some pretty good disruption through there, man. Looks like we do have some decent spiral cuts, but you can see it did come to a halt pretty darn quick. It was only 100 grain, so that is super light for caliber, but definitely super, you know, super surprising for sure. So let's see what kind of measurement we have here from the side. And it looks like from our widest point from the side, we are about 2 1/8 inches, so a little bit less from the side than the top, but still pretty good. And then hopefully you guys can see that slug sitting down in there, and it looks like at our leading edge there, from where that thing stopped, we are about 9.5 inches. So you know, definitely not the most. We weren't really expecting to get too much because it is super light, but pretty cool that we actually caught that thing. So 9.5 inches total penetration, so pretty darn good. So let's set it for that 10mm and see how that one does. All right, we're sending back to 15 feet. All right, let's see what we did on that one. So far, have a leaker, so, you know, definitely not the best. All right, so like I said, we do have a jug leaking, so, you know, sometimes that is good and it is bad. That is a kind of excessive penetration, but we'll check it out. So it looks like our impact velocity on that one was 2360, so that is great to see. It was a 70 grain bullet and was calling for 2150, so whenever we can exceed that, just like the last one, that is great to see. All right, so there's that hit. Looks like we got another good shot. You can see right down in sorry, you can see right down in there, and a pretty big star pattern so far. So let's check it out from the top. Oh yeah, definitely looking a little bit different than that 45. This one looks like it performed kind of how it's supposed to. I still think with that 45, it wasn't moving quick enough. It was moving fast, but it doesn't seem like enough for these. But anyways, you can see where that thing came in. Started to open up really nicely. You can kind of see you know, paths going all over the place where those petals are shearing off, and then you can see where that main part of the, you know, base or the slug was going through. We did make it into our second block, out of our second block, and luckily I do put jugs in it. It looks like we did actually catch it in that jug. I'm assuming it's just the base because, you know, the petals are kind of still in the block, but definitely pretty good. It does look like we did interfere with the other track a little bit, but that's okay. We'll do the best we can. Like I said, we'll cut these open to get a little bit more accurate cross-section measurement, but while we're out here, and it's gonna be a little bit tough. Looks like we're about 3 3/4 inches, so definitely quite a bit more than that 45, but man, you can see those different paths going all over the place. Pretty impressive stuff, and you know, those numbers were definitely pretty impressive too. So let's check it out here from the side. Hopefully you guys can see that. So it looks like it came in, and pretty much on impact it exploded. You can see that nice wide you know, channel and spiral cuts going through. You can see quite a bit of those petals that are sticking there. I doubt you can see it from this angle, but it did, where it did, you know, shear off and go into that second block, but definitely quite a bit of damage for sure. So let's check out our measurement here from the side. So right where those petals are kind of sitting to the very top, we're about, actually right about 3 inches. So definitely pretty impressive, man. That I really wasn't expecting those velocities. We did test Liberty Civil Defense as well, and same thing with that. That was getting some crazy numbers. I don't know if it's the color of these bullets or what, but they're definitely doing the trick. But pretty crazy stuff. So let's see, before that thing exited, we are at 8 3/4. So that's 19 3/4 inches of total gel penetration, and then we did make it into our jug. These are, you know, 5 1/2, 6 inches wide. We made it in, but did not make it out. So definitely pretty impressive. So let's check these tracks one more time from the top. So the one on the right is that 45. One on the left is that 10 millimeter. So here's that 45 shot. You can see it came in, opened up really nicely. Didn't explode as much as that, you know, 10 millimeter, but still was doing pretty good. You can see the main, you know, majority of that slug right there. And we did not make it out of that first block. And here's that 10 millimeter shot. This one's kind of a different story. Came in, opened up really nicely. You can see those paths all over the place in that gel. And then that one did make it out into our second, out of our second, and then into our jug. So quite a bit of penetration. But like I said, definitely pretty impressive for these rounds. I really wasn't, you know, sure what to expect, but pretty good so far. So let's see what we can pull out and check these rounds out. All right, check these things out. So they definitely look like they got some pretty nice expansion, especially the one on the right. The one on the left did shear off those petals and acted as it was supposed to, but definitely pretty surprising. So the one on the right was at 45, one on the left was at 10 millimeter. So here is that 45 shot. Definitely very interesting. So it looks like it opened up and it blew the base out, but you know, I don't think, I'll definitely check here in a little bit, but I don't think we have the base. I think that is the part that actually, you know, went through and it ended up coming out of the block. But that is very interesting, the way that that thing did open up. There is quite a bit of gel still stuffed in there. But man, that is definitely pretty weird. It did open up pretty good though, and surprising that we actually caught it. But yeah, definitely different than anything we've really seen. You can see all the way through. It does look pretty hollow, but very weird for sure. And then here's that 10 millimeter. So this is the part that we did find in the jug. That is the base, kind of like how they're supposed to, just like their, you know, civil defense line and all that. But pretty cool that we're actually able to catch it. I'm glad we had the jugs behind there so we can catch it. But it does have quite a bit of weight too, so I will get our weight retention on that stuff here at the end. But definitely pretty surprising, and a ton of penetration. A little much for my liking, but you know, still pretty darn good. So we'll check these one time from the bottom. So one on the right was at 45, one on the left was at 10 millimeter. And let's see if we can flip them. And last time from the top. So like I said, these ones were the Liberty Overwatch. And, you know, it was definitely a pretty fun test. So thank you, Mr. John G. We always appreciate you sending out all the ammo and, you know, just all the support you've given us, you know, for the channel. We appreciate you a ton. But there we go, guys. That one was 45 auto versus 10 millimeter. Thanks for watching, guys. All right, so we're going to do this a little bit different. So we're going to do the cross sections for both the 45 and the 10 millimeter, just the way, you know, that they collided. We don't really want to cut and separate the tracks too much. But anyway, so all I did was cut down the middle and then literally just folded them over. So these two on the bottom are the 45, and then the two holes on the top are from the 10 millimeter. So as you can see, we got some pretty nasty damage from that 45. There is a huge hole still where that thing was just plowing through. Same on this side. So we did remeasure these. They are averaging and peaking right at that 3-inch mark. So, you know, we definitely got quite a bit of damage, and there's some weird stuff going on with that bullet. I'll probably show it here shortly, but yeah, that definitely got quite a bit of damage, and it did, you know, exceed rated velocity, which is always good. And then here's those paths for the 10 millimeter up here. Same thing, really nice big splits going on, and that one did frag a little bit more for sure. There is still one chunk, and we actually pulled out a little bit too. But definitely pretty big cuts down in there. So I did remeasure these. They are peaking right at that 4-inch mark and averaging right around that 3 3/4. So I don't remember what we're getting out in the field, but, you know, it's still pretty crazy the amount of damage that's going on. Really big splits and cuts for both of those. So let's cut them open. All right, so there's after being cut. So this bottom is the right side and this top is the left. This one is the 45 track. I did separate them now just so we can get a little bit clearer view. But you can see pretty much as soon as that thing came in, we were starting to get some damage. You can see that thing did have a huge hollow point cavity, so it drug quite a bit of gel with it. I'm not sure on if it was opening. I'm going to show you the bullet here shortly just so we can explain that. But it definitely got quite a bit of damage. You can see that path going all the way through. And then the base did come out. That's the part we weren't able to find. We found the rest of it, you know, the jacket. But yeah, we weren't able to find the base. But you can see it definitely got quite a bit of damage. There is, you know, a little bit of that cotton t-shirt that it did drag with it, which is expected. Like I said, that hollow point cavity was huge. And then same here on the top, you can see where it kind of straight lined and then finally started to get some damage going through. But still pretty impressive once it did. We did get some pretty shallow penetration, but I'll show you why. So we'll do one more quick angle before I get to it. But yeah, this stuff is barely hanging on for sure. So you can see right there, got some really big cuts. Definitely jumbled this stuff up pretty darn good. And then same on this side. You can see some pretty nasty tears. All right, so I'm going to show the bullet. We're going to show both actually. I'm still going to do our, you know, still shots and stuff here at the end. So the one on the right was at 10 millimeter, and then this one on, I'm sorry, the one on the left was the 10 millimeter. The one on the right was the 45. So the 40, I'm sorry, let's go backwards. The 10 millimeter did act exactly the way it was supposed to. It did break the base off. All the rest of the petals are over here that it ended up shearing off. But that one acted, you know, how it was supposed to. This one did not. And I was kind of, I didn't get why this looked more like a 9 millimeter or 40 than this one. Like the base of that definitely looks wider, because I thought this was the, you know, the butt end of the bullet. Actually, this is the butt end of the bullet where it actually got its expansion. This is the hollow point cavity from that 45. So I'm thinking what's going on is the bullet came apart on impact. So the base of it actually shoved down into the bullet, and that's how it flared it open. It didn't actually go in this way and, you know, cone open like a normal hollow point. It's really weird the way that that happened. And then this ended up going sideways, and then the base ended up flying out. So I don't know exactly how it did that or how it ended up coming apart. I guess if you look close, it does look like there's a two-part to it. But yeah, so I think that that bullet, you know, when it hit, it shoved it into the you know, back end of the bullet, flared it out like that, And then this is what, you know, carried through the gel, and then we did end up finding it sideways. So I don't know what to even think about that. I've never seen that before, and we've done a ton of testing. But definitely some pretty crazy stuff. So I just wanted to show what I think is going on, because that's not a full 45 diameter. You know, that's the hollow point cavity, and that did not open up. The butt end of that bullet opened up. So just some weird stuff. But anyways, guys, there was that 45, you know, that first shot that we did. All right, and here's after being cut. So this one is the 10 millimeter path. So the bottom is the right side and the top is the left. So this one acted like it was supposed to. Sorry, we went into a rant about the 45, but I just wanted to show what I think is going on, and, you know, how weird that was. But this one definitely performed, you know, as expected. So as soon as it came in, right around, this one kind of looks a little bit more delayed, right around that ½ inch mark, where it came in and just absolutely exploded all those, you know, petals off. You can see it's barely hanging on right there, but we do have a huge path going all the way through. Ton of damage for sure. And then same on this top side, came in, opened up. Once again, nice wide path. You can see those different, you know, tracks going on where those petals were veering off. And same thing, huge cuts. This one definitely tore it up as well. Really a jumbled mess in there for sure. So let's do one more quick angle. This bottom side might not be as good just because it is barely hanging on, but you can definitely see, man, those are some really deep cuts. Really nice looking cuts too, for sure. And same on this side. And this one was screaming. This one was going, you know, over 200 feet per second faster than advertised, which I've been noticing with that Liberty ammo. It's definitely loaded pretty warm, which is good. But anyways, there we go, guys. That one was that 10 millimeter Liberty Overwatch. Thanks again for watching, guys.